Hello everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for stopping by because today we're going to talk about eyeshadow palettes. And if you are a regular on my channel, then you knew this was coming, and this is going to be my October eyeshadow palette extravaganza. If you are new to my channel, I love eyeshadow palettes. It is what I love most in makeup, and because that is what I buy most of, I like to do a roundup for you just to let you know what I bought the prior month and how the palettes worked for me, regardless if I have already done a review or not. So it's more of a consolidated rapid review type thing. So if you're interested in seeing which palettes I bought during the month of October, there's a lot, then just keep on watching. Okay guys, so I kind of don't know where to start. First, I'm just, I guess, gonna start on top. So in rapid review fashion, just going to kind of tell you how they worked for me and yeah, what I am liking or not liking about them. So let's go ahead and start off with the Makeup by Mario Master Metallics palette. If you know me, you know that the Metallics palette is the one that I went for. I could disregard mattes forever and just go with metallics. So it was the obvious choice for me. So I have a lot to tell you about this palette, and I'm gonna tell you in a very short amount of time. When I first picked this up, I was very underwhelmed, almost to the point where I was going to return it, but there was enough that I liked about it that I wanted to hold on to it. I think it was a $49 palette. As always, I will link all of these down below so that if you are interested in seeing the details or seeing if they're right for you, you'll have quick access, but I think it was $49. I do love the packaging. I think it's very simplistic. I like the raised lettering right here that says Mario. Overall, I like the packaging. Typically, this would bore me, but something about it does call my name. The color story, when I first picked it up, I was like, especially when I had heard what he had themed it about or on, and I guess it's like about all of the different things inside our bodies, the different colors in our bodies. That is what is displayed here. I'm totally butchering that, but that's very high level. So I was like, I don't know if like human anatomy or whatever it's called is something that I really want when I think about when I see my eyeshadow palette. And so there was that. And then I don't know, something about it at first just very much underwhelmed me. And I don't know to tell you how to put my finger on it. I don't know if it was that maybe it wasn't as metallic as I thought it was going to be, that it just kind of, when I paired shades together, they just, I don't know, like I was having to bring in other palettes in order to supplement, which I don't typically mind doing, but something about it was just not wowing me. It's like I've told y'all, when you know, you know. Anyways, I put it to the side, and then I ended up coming back to it for whatever reason, and I just took one of the shades, put it on my lid, put a little bit of something else in my crease, and done. Well, I filmed a video that day, and I remember getting a lot of comments of people saying that my eyeshadow looked really good, and when I was editing the video, I remember thinking, my eyeshadow looks good. Fast forward to our Disney World trip. This is the palette I took. You guys know, if you know me by now, then you know that I'm very selective of the eyeshadow and the makeup I take to Disney because I want my makeup to look good in our pictures. What can I say? I'm vain that way. This is the palette that I took because I remembered that it was kind of a one and done type of thing, and when you're at Disney, you don't want to spend a whole lot of time on your makeup, but you still want it to look nice. I can't even tell you the most amazing decision that was, and that sold me on this palette for life, regardless of how I felt about it from the beginning. This is a very one and done eyeshadow palette. This is not the eyeshadow palette that you're going to use to do a very complex 5 or 6 shade type of look. This is a type of palette that you are looking to either place this all over your lid and be done, place this all over your lid and blend it up into the crease and be done, or use one shade as your lid shade and then maybe a matte in the crease. This is to do a very simplistic look, at least in my opinion, at least in my experience, and what I have found that works best for me. And I know I'm spending a lot of time on this, but I really just want to tell you that these shades they truly are beautiful. They stand out, but they stand out best when used very simplistically, like in just a one and done kind of fashion. They are very opaque. No, they're not as metallic as you would expect them to be, but I love this palette for that reason, and I see myself taking it to Disney again. I see myself using this for those days where I want something very pretty and elegant. It looks elegant. That's what I can tell you, and it looks elegant when you use it in a very minimalistic fashion, for whatever that's worth. So let's move on. The next palette is going to be a Juvias Place palette, and I accidentally nicked the packaging when it fell on the floor as I was getting ready to film this video. So that tells me that the packaging is very, very cheap, but that's okay. It's a very inexpensive palette. So this is the Sweet Pinks palette. It's what I'm wearing on my eyes today. I have been very bad about putting what I'm wearing in the description box, so I'm trying to remember to tell y'all. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes. All in this palette, nothing supplemented. So this palette is absolutely stunning if you are a pink lover. If you hate pink and pink makes you throw up, then this, just skip on to the next palette. This is a beautiful eyeshadow palette, and the metallics in this palette are just spot on. I don't have any pinks like this. I think the closest thing I have would be like Violet Voss, for example, but the metallics are very intense. The mattes are also very pigmented. It is easy to build this up very, very quickly. It builds well, it applies well over primer. It remains bold on the lid. It does stain my lids a little, but you know, that really doesn't bother me. So this was amazing, and I think it was like $14, but you can use an Ulta coupon, and it brings it down to something like 12 bucks. And that's why I say, well, packaging's not all that great, and I'm kind of bummed that that happened, but it is what it is. So that was something I definitely picked up, and I think it's one of the newer ones to their, I don't know if monochromatic line is the right word, but that kind of thing. The next one, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Too Faced stuff because I've got a plethora of videos related to Too Faced Holiday, and there's so much in these videos because I practically picked up everything on the Too Faced list this year. This is the Sugar Plum Fun Set. I'm gonna just talk to you about the palette. That's what this video is for. The packaging, I've talked to you before. It's beautiful. I love the different skin tones, the different fairies on the cover. I think that is so, so pretty, and this is what kids think of when they think of, you know, other people and just differences, you know, among kids. You don't think about what adults think about now. As kids, you think of, this is my friend, and that's all there is to it. That's how it was with me. I don't know. I don't know when life got so complex, but maybe it's just my very innocent mind. But I love this. This is what I imagine children think of, like holding each other's hands no matter what the differences are. Anyways, so aside from that, the palette is lovely. You can pair some really beautiful shades in here, but the quality is not on par to what I got on my Sephora palettes from Too Faced. So this was an Ulta exclusive. I think they're very pretty. They're just not outstanding. These are the metallic shades of the bunch, and yeah, this is what I would consider to be like the theme of the entire set. There's a gloss in that kind of similar shade, and they're very pretty, but they just, I don't know, they kind of faded on me throughout the day, and it just wasn't, the mattes were a little bit patchier, not patchy, but dusty and thinner and took more building. Yeah, I guess patchy is the word. I mean, just because I had like bald spot, I don't know, just definitely not a fan. For the price point, I think it was kind of expensive. I want to say it was like $34 or something. If I had to do it over, I probably wouldn't pick this one up, but what's done is done, and at least I got to review it for you guys. So I would say that would be kind of very low on my list of Too Faced holiday purchases. Yeah, set your sights on others, and unless you're like absolutely overwhelmed by the packaging and all that. The next one is the Charlotte Tilbury Bejeweled Eyes to Hypnotize. This is the holiday palette. Again, there is a specific video on this where I used Charlotte Tilbury. This eyeshadow palette was my very first Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette, and I used this for the very first time in a video, and I feel like my reaction is just, that'll tell you everything. The packaging, beautiful. This is everything I could have wanted and more in a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow palette. As my first one, it was every bit the experience I had hoped it would be. These are absolutely just on another level. They are set apart. Like, there is a reason that this brand charges more for their eyeshadow palettes, and I see why. Absolutely stunning. Probably some of the classiest eyeshadow I've ever used. Looks like a twinkle on my eye. Just gives my eye a glow that no other eyeshadow has. And I'm not talking metallic, I'm not talking, I don't know, foiled. I'm talking a glow that's absolutely stunning. And I like that they're paired in little sets of 4. So if you don't want to put a lot of thought into it, just use it, or sets of 3, sorry. There's 4 sets of 3. But if you don't want to put a lot of thought into it, you just grab one of the sets, and it even tells you on the little slip, 1, 2, and 3. Number 1 is for your prime, number 2 is your enhance, and number 3 is your smoke. So one and done kind of thing. Absolutely just beautiful. And the texture is, I think, by far the softest texture in an eyeshadow that I have ever felt in my life. And they're absolutely beautiful, to the point where I asked my husband for last year's, she brought back last year's holiday palette. Maybe it never sold out. It was on the website, and I said, I kind of need that palette for Christmas. So this was $75. I think I had a 10% off for like a welcome, since I had never placed an order. If you are new to the brand, I can't even stress enough how amazing this is. If you've been on the fence about this palette, just grab it already. It's so incredible. Next up is the Pat McGrath Mothership Mega Celestial Divinity. This palette is like 68, I think. And it is, again, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because there's already a dedicated video on this. This is by far one of my favorite Pat McGrath palettes of all time. And that's saying a lot because I already had a majority of the shades in my collection. So if you are familiar with this palette, you know that 12 out of the 18 shades are the shades from the Star Wars 6-pan palettes from last year, which I already own, and I love those as well. But it's kind of nice to have it in a more compact, one place type of thing with a new six set of shades in the palette. So I very much love this palette. I was fine with, I knew going in that I was gonna get dupes. So it's definitely different than anything she has come out with. And these are the most beautiful foiled metallic sparkly shades you have come across. And this is just a perfect way to get into the brand, to try out the shades. Now, none of these are like the ones in her large, look at this. I mean, none of these are like her large pan palettes or like Astral Blitz shades. I may be totally saying that wrong. My brain is still in a fog from being sick. But so you don't get those in here, but you get a heck of a good quality in this palette. And I don't even think I need to say anymore. This is absolutely incredible. So yes, if you are an eyeshadow junkie like me, then I would say this is probably one of the standout shades of, or standout palettes of the season, probably even of the year, even though they are repeat shades, but a lot of people didn't get to get their hands on them, and this just opened the door for a lot of people to not only try the brand, but get their hands on those Star Wars shades that were so elusive last year. Highly, highly recommend. Honestly, this is one of my top picks for holiday 2020. I haven't decided if I'm gonna do a video like that yet or not, but that is one of them. So moving on, so again, Too Faced, this is the Enchanted Wonderland palette or set, and this is the one that comes with the 3 minis. I like this very much. I think this is gonna be for you. Again, I already did a roundup of all of these. I feel like I'm just, harping on this so much, but this is gonna be like an overview of the, all of the other sets that they've come out with. It's kind of like a condensed version. Here you go. Here's a little bit of neutral. Here's a little bit of pop. Here's a little bit of new. So the new that I'm talking about is the Little Deer palette. You get like an olive green. It's kind of like more of an olive tone. This is my favorite palette of the bunch. I do love this one. And honestly, this All the Jingle Ladies is probably one of my favorite Too Faced shades of life. I'm telling you, this is probably one of the best ones they've ever come out with. But it is absolutely beautiful. That little palette is my favorite out of the 3. With each one of these, you get the eyeshadows, and then you also get like the blush and the bronzer. And then you do have a pink themed palette, which again, like I'm saying, it's a condensed version out of everything that they have released. And then you do get a neutral, which is very similar to the Foxy Neutral palette from Sephora. So definitely a little bit of everything, and I want to say that one was $49. And it, again, is a set, comes with a mascara, and that might be it. Smells like maple brown sugar. I have found that the scents in these are very, very minimal, so it's not like gonna slap you in the face if you are either opposed to scents or if they give you like headaches or whatever. So moving on to the Enchanted Forest. Again, that little set, this set are Ulta exclusives. And I did find the Sephora quality of the Too Faced sets this holiday season consistent with prior years. The Sephora ones I find them to be a little bit better. And I thought, okay, is it all in my head? But no, they are a little bit better, but the Ulta ones weren't bad. And the packaging to this is probably some of the prettiest Too Faced packaging ever for holiday. It's like a little snow globe. It's stunning. I love it. That sold me on it. This is going to be the one-stop shop. This is going to have all of your eyeshadows, a mega amount of eyeshadows, and then your face products. And so this has got a little bit of everything for you. Again, the quality isn't I don't think on the level as Sephora, so I would say pick up one of the Sephora ones. But if you're looking for a little bit of everything, because those were broken out into like the neutral and then the more pop, and this has got just a little bit of everything. So this, this is a good option for whether you're a beginner, whether you want a variety. I will give you a couple of swatches, but it's not one I'm going to reach for as often as some of the others, but it's fine. So here is what those look like right there. And I want to say this one was a little bit less in price. This was, I think, like 42-ish. I thought it was a decent price point, quite frankly. For the price, it's decent. It's not the best and it's not the worst. All right, my last two things, they're eyeshadow palettes, but they actually came in a little set because it was the only way that I could get them at Ulta. You can get these on the Juvias Place website individually if you prefer, but I didn't want to go that route, and as it turns out, they ended up going on sale with free shipping from the Juvias Place website anyway, so probably should have waited, but these are their two holiday sets with their two palettes. So let's start with the purple one, which is called the Nubian Royal. For reference, the sets do come with a couple of lip products. These are lip balms, and then the gold one has like lip glosses or I'll show you like a little lip jelly. These I think were $28. I did use a 20% Ulta coupon, so it ended up coming to like $22 for the whole set. Again, I didn't need the lip products, but I really had my heart set on these palettes. So this is what this one looks like. It is the purple, and I'm going to tell you right now that this purple shade right here is the most unique shade of purple in my collection. It has a shift unlike any other one that I have seen before. I used it in a video, and so many of you had asked me what I was wearing on my eyes. Each one of these comes with a pressed glitter. I had hoped it wasn't a pressed glitter. It ended up being so, but I love a good pressed glitter, but I feel like at this point so many brands have done them that I've got repeats upon repeats. So I'll still give you a swatch. This is the purple that I am telling you about. It's got like I can't tell if it's a gold type of shift or a silver type shift. It's absolutely stunning. I'm telling you, it's the prettiest shade of purple you're ever going to see. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Almost reminds me of like a twilight type of thing. I don't know. And then this is the glitter right there. Obviously in Juvias Place fashion, very opaque, very pigmented, just like what I'm wearing on my eyes. They never seem to disappoint when it comes to eyeshadow. Give you a couple of the mattes as well. Very pretty. I am very happy with this purchase, and I will be using these for a long time to come. But again, it was worth it for me for this one shade. So this is definitely an awesome little set for somebody on your list that may be into makeup or beauty or whatever. I do think that this makes a very pretty little, little gift for not a lot of price. And this box is actually pretty good quality. So that is that one. And then the other one is called Nubian Glow, and it comes with what are these called? It's also called a lip balm, but it's almost more like in a little squishy tube instead of an actual stick. And it's like a jelly type of consistency. So this one right here is the gold version. So this is what this one looks like. And again, this one right here is a pressed glitter. I wish it wasn't, but it is. These are also extremely pigmented. Now, I will say that this reminds me very much of like a Pat McGrath shade. It's a gold that has like a little bit of a green shift from like the Star Wars palette. But it's not identical, but very, very pretty. And if you're kind of wanting to, oh my gosh, this is pretty though. This is the glitter and it's like an orangey hue. If you're kind of wanting to go the less expensive route, which I don't blame you, then this is a very good option to, you know, substitute for like a Pat McGrath type thing. So this is, here are a few of the shades. Again, very, very pigmented, very pretty, and a great value for the money. Those two, I really do think that those two palettes were the star of the show for me for the month of October, just because the quality is sensational, the value, you can't beat it, and these are limited edition for the holidays. Okay, my friends, well, that brings us to the end of my October eyeshadow palette extravaganza. Definitely a lot of eyeshadow. I keep on adding to this eyeshadow collection of mine, and soon I'm gonna end up with like a palette for every day of the year. Man, that's a crazy thought. But I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. I hope you found it beneficial if you have had your sights on any one of these palettes. And I hope that you maybe found it a little bit entertaining. Most of all, I hope you enjoyed spending some time with me chatting about makeup. I know I did. And before I let you go, I do want to give you a very quick verse of the day. Okay, my friends, very quick verse today comes from Colossians 3:23 and 24, and it says, "Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for men, since you know that you will receive an inheritance from the Lord as a reward. It is the Lord Christ you are serving." I know sometimes when we go in our day-to-day jobs, it's easy to complain and it's easy to get very discouraged. At least sometimes that is the case for me. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you think about it, that you're working for Him, if you're working for Christ instead of working for just your boss or whoever, it almost makes you want to work at it even more, even harder, to just be the best at what you're doing. So I just encourage you, whatever place you're in, if you're struggling at work or whatever, just set your sights on the Lord and let Him guide you. Allow Him to be your focus so that you can do your very best. All right, my friends, I will see you in the very next video. Until then, stay safe and stay well. I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.